Let us now discuss the concept of nominal GNP and real GNP. Nominal GNP is the money value of all final goods and services produced in a year. This money value is obtained using current year market prices of final goods and services produced. However, nominal GNP does not truly indicate the real performance or economic growth of a country over time if prices are changing. While nominal GNP may be increasing due to rise in price level, the quantity of goods and services produced may remain constant. Therefore, in order to estimate to what extent the amount of final goods and services produced has increased, we have to eliminate the effect of change in prices on the nominal value of GNP in the current year. To do so, the economists evaluate the output of final goods and services produced in a year using the market prices that prevailed in a certain chosen year called the base year. Estimates of India's real GNP, which were made using 93-94 as the base year, has now been changed to 99 and 2000. And now it is 2011 and 12. Thus, in India, now market prices of year 2011-12 are used to estimate the real GNP, which is also called national income at constant prices. National income, as explained, measures the value of aggregate output of goods and services produced in a year. Since goods and services satisfy the wants of the people, national income has often been used as a measure of satisfaction or economic welfare of the people. The greater the magnitude of national income, the greater the level of economic welfare. Besides, economic progress, or what is now generally called economic growth, has been measured in terms of increase in national income, in terms of total or per capita income. In recent years, doubts have been expressed about the validity of national income or gross national product as a measure and index of economic welfare. It has been asserted by several modern economists that national income, as it is usually defined, is not a satisfactory measure of economic welfare. According to them, in order to obtain a true measure of economic welfare, some adjustments, both in the form of additions and subtractions, have to be made in the aggregate of national income. National income, as it is usually conceived and measured, includes some things that do not increase welfare of the people. Therefore, such things ought to be excluded in order to get a true measure of economic welfare. This true measure of economic welfare is now often called net economic welfare. On the other hand, the usual concept of national income excludes some goods and services which increase satisfaction of the people and therefore ought to be included in any good index of net economic welfare. As regards the things that ought to be added to obtain the index of net economic welfare, the first important thing is the value of satisfaction that people derive from leisure. The usual concept of national income does not attach any significance to the amount of leisure people enjoy. However, the individuals derive satisfaction not only from the consumption of goods and services, but also from leisure that they have. Therefore, for constructing any index of net economic welfare, the value of leisure which the people enjoy must also be included. For example, if the average working hours are reduced, this is likely to reduce national production or national income, but may raise welfare of the people by enabling them to enjoy more leisure. The other important items that ought to be added to obtain a true measure of welfare are the non-marketed personal services, which also greatly raise the satisfaction and welfare of the people. For instance, services rendered by housewives to the family members greatly add to their welfare, but they are not recorded in the national income accounting. Likewise, personal services rendered by individuals to themselves, such as gardening, painting one's own house, significantly raise their welfare but do not get registered in the national income. Hence, in order to get any true index of economic welfare, the value of non-market activities such as personal services, which increase welfare, ought to be incorporated. As regards the items that have to be deduced from the national income, mention may be made of those harmful effects which result from increase in output. As is well known, the production of modern industries pollutes the environment, such as polluting air, water, and calmness, which significantly reduce welfare of the people. Though modern industrialization has greatly increased national income of the countries, but by causing air pollution, water pollution, and noise has tended to reduce the welfare of the people. Therefore, for preparing a measure of net welfare, negative values ought to be assigned to the environment pollution that results from the production of goods and services. The various forms of pollution of environment have often been referred to as costs of economic growth, which, like other costs, have to be deduced or deducted to obtain the index of national economic welfare. Apart from environmental pollution, certain other deductions on account of wasteful and non-productive expenditure, such as government expenditure on police and law courts so as to maintain law and order, and on defense to protect the country from external aggression. These have been called regrettable costs because economists consider them regrettable necessities, expenditure on which does not lead to increase in welfare of the people. Hence, expenditure on them should be excluded from GNP to arrive at the measure of the net economic welfare. To sum up, the relation between national income and net economic welfare can be represented in the figure below. To sum up, the relation between national income and net economic welfare can be represented as shown in the figure here. Real GNP minus depreciation plus value of leisure plus value of non-market activities, that is service of housewives and personal services, minus environment pollution minus regrettable costs is equal to net economic welfare. But it is worth mentioning that even the measure of net economic welfare as defined above does not truly indicate the welfare enjoyed by the people. There are other things which play a significant role in determining welfare of a nation and which do not get registered in national income or in net economic welfare. Thus, composition of national output as between wage goods and luxuries, and also the distribution of goods between individuals, determine welfare to a great extent. If, with the increase in total national income and per capita income, the rich are getting richer and poor getting poorer, then this growth in national income and per capita income cannot be said to promote welfare. As Professor Hicks remarked, the national income only measures the total volume of goods and services at the disposal of the community during the year. It can tell us nothing, for example, about the way in which the national income is divided up between rich and poor. Further, national income and per capita income are also not true measures of welfare because they do not consider the composition of output. A country's national income and per capita income may be very high, but the well-being of people may be very low because the national output consists of a large quantity of war material. This is a very important factor because it is a well-known fact that various countries are spending quite a large part of national budget on the manufacture of war material, and the greater the expenditure on defense forces, the smaller will be the actual well-being of the people given the size of national and per capita income. Similarly, the well-being of the people also depends upon relative proportion of wage goods and luxuries in the composition of national product. It may be noted that in a country, if luxuries are being produced in relatively great quantities than the wage goods, then in that case, while the few rich will be rolling in luxuries, the poor will be deprived of even sufficient quantities of necessities of life. Likewise, national and per capita income do not accurately reflect improvements in the quality of products. This is the shortcoming because improvements in the quality of products affect the economic welfare of people as much as the increase in quantities of goods. And lastly, the increase in national income does not truly indicate the increase in welfare of the people, because it does not take into account how the national income is being produced and how the increase in it has been brought about.